11 days from the globe's biggest event, here is the U.S. national team in the nation's largest city. The World Cup squad at the crossroads of the world, getting a send-off from America. Tuesday, it was the bench. Goals from 2 substitutes, sparking the U.S. in a friendly. Captain Clint Dempsey, a late scratch that night, a precautionary move. He should go today, as Jurgen Klinsmann's squad meets Turkey in a friendly, with time ticking down and pressure going up, one day closer to Brazil.
And on this Sunday at Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey, the calendar turns to June, the World Cup month. The U.S. national team takes another step towards Brazil as in a friendly in the send-off series, they take on the Turkish national side. 1 week from today, the U.S. team departs the United States for what they hope will be a long and profitable journey and stay in Brazil. 15 days from today, the U.S. begins play in the World Cup against Ghana in company with Casey Keller and Alexi Lalas. I'm Bob Lee. Everything about this team magnified in importance. 5 days ago, Clint Dempsey pulled minutes from the starting kick against Azerbaijan. Soreness in his groin. He will go today. He has been training full out.
Groin's okay? America, the groin is okay.
Call off the groin watch. Okay. Everything is fine. The starting 11 today, well, 3 changes in that starting 11 lineup for the United States. Dempsey certainly one of those changes. Brad Davis will get a start in left midfield. And Tim Chandler on the back line that has been so much the focus of analysis and scrutiny since the 23 pronounced. Here are the starting 11. What do we make of this today, a week from departure?
Well, let's look at that back line. When you talk about this back 4, this is a long-rumored back 4. And if I was a betting man, I would look at this back 4 as the possible back 4 for starting against Ghana. But that means you got a lot of players that have absolutely no World Cup experience. I want to see how that goes. Back to that diamond midfield that we're seeing again with Bradley pushed up into a more attacking, creative role, which I don't think is his best position. I want to see how that goes. And then up top, Josie Altidore, he's got to score a goal at some point. I don't know if it's going to be today, but for him, for the team, for U.S. soccer fans, it would be nice for him to get a goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a huge point. You know, is who's going to score the goals for this team to move forward? The other huge point is who's going to start at the back with that tons of inexperience. Right now you're looking, you know, Johnson, now Timmy Chandler gets a chance to come back. His 15-month sabbatical where there was a question on what was his commitment to the team.
Is this now process building the cohesion they need?
Well, I mean, I think yes and no. I mean, at some stage you have to find out. If Beasley goes down, can Chandler come in and do it? Is Beasley the right guy, a converted left midfielder into left back? I think we're still trying to find those questions, and that's the tricky part in leading up to that first game against Ghana.
And you're looking at massive changes. I mean, in qualifying, what really worked was Brad Evans on the right-hand side.
Not here.
Matt Beasler, Omar Gonzalez, and DeMarcus Beasley on that. So you have 3 different changes in the back line. And a back line is about coordination, understanding. It's not necessarily about the best 4 players. It's the best grouping of players. And these guys have got to get it together quick because that World Cup is right around the corner.
15 days. It is still a work in progress. The U.S. national team climbing the ladder of ambition with their opponents Tuesday night, Azerbaijan. Today, Ian Dark and Taylor Twellman. It is Turkey.
Yep, it's Turkey. A week today, the U.S. team will be leaving on a jet plane for Brazil. So the time for auditions is running out. It's the time for decisions, the time for performances. And against Turkey, they're up against a very decent side. They've won twice in the last week. They're not on a summer vacation. They're here to win.
No, they really are, Ian. And put it in perspective, Ghana's ranked 38th in the world. Turkey's ranked 39th. This isn't Azerbaijan. This is a real test. 2 players that Jurgen Klinsmann wants to watch closely today, which is the subject of my Continental Tire Analyst Corner. And you heard the boys say it. Josie Altidore, listen, no goals since December. But more importantly, his confidence is shaken after only 1 goal in 31 Premier League games. But that's not what I'm talking about. The real question is, how long does Jurgen Klinsmann rely on Josie Altidore and his teammates have confidence in him?
He needs a confidence boost today, just as he produced a whole bunch of goals last June.
No doubt about it. And then obviously Timmy Chandler, I was shocked to see him on the 30-man roster. He's going to the World Cup. We're talking about a player that for 15 months wasn't with the U.S. team. We're talking about gaining confidence with his teammates. It's not Jurgen Klinsmann looking at Timmy Chandler. It's the other 10 players on the team gaining confidence that he's in it to win it going down to Brazil. in 2 weeks.
It's a significant game, and I think here the U.S. team, Bob, need to give the fans a reason to believe.
It was the benching the other evening in San Francisco that produced the 2 late goals against Azerbaijan. This time last June, Josie Altidore was a man on fire. 3 qualifiers, 2 friendlies. He had 7 goals in 5 matches. The nightmare season with Sunderland. Can he compartmentalize that? Put it aside. We saw flashes of the big man game that he played and played well on Tuesday, but he's yet to put the ball in the net.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing what he's being asked to do by Jurgen Klinsmann, and there is nobody else that can play that position. That's why Josie consistently starts. You want to couple it with the goals, but I think when you look at the other changes that Jurgen is making, both in personnel and in formations, I think that this is just a dramatic illustration of Jurgen Klinsmann coming to the realization that what got him there in qualifying is not good enough in the World Cup, and especially not good enough in terms of the group that this U.S. team has.
I think something important for Josie, I think that he's taken out of this difficult season at Sunderland, is that when you're in a relegation fight with your club, it's all about hard work, fighting for your team. You got to defend. You got to try to make things happen. Look, this isn't going to be a cakewalk for the U.S. in this group. Those forwards aren't going to be able to just cruise around and wait for that moment to score a goal. They're going to have to defend from the front. They're going to have to work hard. They're going to have to make it difficult for that opposition, something that Josie Altidore had to do all year for Sunderland.
One name we haven't mentioned, we've not yet seen him play in this send-off series, Julian Green. He'll turn 19 on Friday. He's the singular unknown entity of the final 23 for the United States. We'll go to Germany to meet him and his parents and talk about his decision to play for the USA when we continue from Harrison. Harrison with an illustrious soccer history. Once the surprise of Landon Donovan's putt from this team, once that passed a lot of attention on 3 young players who made this team. None of these young men have started a competitive international for the U.S. national team. 21-year-old John Brooks, 20-year-old DeAndre Yedlin, or 18-year-old Julian Green. And it is Julian Green that certainly has turned the most heads. He's out of the Bayern Munich youth system. He plays essentially in the 4th division of German soccer for the reserve team of Bayern Munich. He has a total of 2 minutes of first-team action for Bayern. Last fall, final 2 minutes of a game in the Champions League against CSKA Moscow. He has 21 total minutes of experience for the U.S. national team, but he is going to Brazil. Julie Foudy introduces us to this young man whose history to a fateful decision is engrossing.
Julian Green, the boy who might be king from Bayern Munich. You will see him make his debut tonight.
Look, a lot of people are looking forward to seeing this kid play. This guy's been given a golden ticket. Tonight, he starts proving whether he is worth that.
There has been so many expectations heaped upon this young man. A lot of pressure on this kid.
Before he wore a USA jersey for the first time, Julian Green was the hopeful boy on this field in the Bavarian village of Miesbach, Germany.
Julian, we're here at your hometown, home field. How special is this place for you?
It's very special. Everything started here. It's my first club here, so.
Very first.
Very
at 4
first.
years old?
Yes.
When you walk onto the field, how many memories come flooding back of those early years?
I scored a lot of goals here.
This is Julian here,
Yes,
right
at these
here.
fields.
And you see, he was very proud. These were his first soccer shoes I bought, these little yellow ones. I still have them.
Julian's mother, Ulla, a German citizen, married Jerry, an American Army serviceman stationed in Germany. The couple moved to Tampa, Florida, where Julian was born. When the couple separated, 2-year-old Julian returned to Miesbach with his mother.
It was a dream to play for Germany when I was a kid.
Right,
I
this
grew
was your
up here,
home.
yes, it's
Yeah.
my home.
At 14, Green signed a pro contract with Bayern Munich, one of the best clubs in the world. This past season, as the leading scorer on their second team, he drew interest from both Germany and the United States national teams.
Julian Green. Every coach is looking always for difference makers. Who can make me win a game when we maybe down a goal and turn it around? Can he surprise opponents with certain things that he has in his pockets, you know, his cards? And he is a player like that.
Even though Green has yet to start a Bundesliga match, Klinsmann saw the potential and asked Green to join the U.S. team while they were training in Frankfurt, Germany in March.
Yeah, Klinsmann gave me the feeling that I'm welcome. Clint Dempsey gave me a jersey with my name on it.
Like I said, it's good having you in camp, man, and hopefully make the right choice when you give you a jersey to be in the camp. So here.
Before you made the decision, you still were being sought by Germany. This is a difficult decision because once you make it, there's no going back. How hard was that moment?
I spent a lot of time with my family. In the end, I just listened to my heart.
And what was your heart saying?
USA.
Just days after training in Frankfurt with the U.S. team, Julian committed to play for the USA, disqualifying him from ever playing for Germany again.
So you're doing your one-time switch? He goes, yes. I said, okay. I said, so how do you feel about that? He goes, I'm very happy about it. So behind the scenes, I'm just like jumping up and down, doing cartwheels in my office. I was just like moving it up, boy.
I asked him, why so quick? Why now? In a couple of years, he might get the chance to play for Germany. He said, you don't understand that, he told me. Mom, you don't understand. It's the World Cup.
With the weight of the decision behind him, Julian Green made his American debut on April 2nd against Mexico.
And this is the big moment. 3 substitutions, but the one that will definitely be the big talking point is the man there wearing the number 9, Julian Green.
Now, with the World Cup in front of him, the dream of the boy from Miesbach has changed. And Julian Green understands his value to this U.S. team.
I'm a technically good player. I'm fast. I can score goals with my head, with my left foot or with my right foot. I want to score goals for America. That's my job.
Julie Foudy. Julian Green will turn 19 years of age on Friday. Now, Lexi, you've had some thoughts about the way this decision was posited and rolled out. But let me first ask you, whose position in the 23 do you think he's occupying? If it weren't Julian Green, who would it be?
It could be a Landon Donovan. I mean, certainly. When I think of Julian Green, it's not just about wanting to go to a World Cup. You have to want to go to the World Cup with the U.S. So it would be interesting to see what his decision would be if both Germany and the U.S. had offered him an opportunity to go to the World Cup. You know, it's such an interesting decision.
Golden ticket, you've called it.
It is a golden ticket, absolutely.
I mean, sometimes you got to understand the competition level and what it would have taken for him to get himself into a Germany roster. He would have had to get in the Bayern first team, play a season or two, and really dominate. So this is an opportunity for him to make a decision. And let's be honest, is he quite ready for this task? Probably not yet, but you've got a young prospect, a very highly touted European prospect choosing to play for America.
It's the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
As he was given assurances, okay, come out and say that. And you can appeal to the insecurities of the U.S. soccer public. Say, Jurgen Klinsmann, this is how the big boys act.
And he's got a boarding pass and a room reserved. Tim Howard will get his 99th cap today. With Dempsey good to go, the USA in Turkey. The kick approaches. As we approach the kick at Red Bull Arena, Harrison, New Jersey, the USA and Turkey, the send-off series continues. The second of 3 send-off matches. Your assigned homework as we approach FIFA World Cup 2014. The new ESPN FC app. Up to the second World Cup news, video highlights, scores minute by minute, zapped right there from all the top leagues around the world. Personalized news and alerts, iOS and Android phones. This will work for you. Download the ESPN FC World Cup app. 3 changes today in the U.S. starting 11 from Tuesday night's friendly. One of them at left midfield, Brad Davis. Moments ago, he spoke with our Jeremy Schaap.
Bob, it'll be Brad Davis's 16th cap for the senior national team. Brad, I don't know how you want to characterize it as a sluggish, lackluster performance from the team against Azerbaijan Tuesday night. What do you guys need to achieve today against a more formidable Turkish side?
Yeah, I think the other night we all knew we were coming off a couple weeks of a lot of hard work. You know, we were still trying to build fitness in that last game. We didn't really slow down with training, so you know, it was a little bit sluggish. And today we come out, you know, some fresh legs. We want to go out and express ourselves. Now it's about time to start picking up with the soccer, you know, and the creativity. Just go out there, have the confidence, create some scoring chances. Obviously, get some goals in front of this great crowd.
For you, this will be only your eighth career start for the national team. You're 32 years old. What do you want to show Jurgen Klinsmann today?
Really, I just want to continue to show him why it was a good choice for me to, you know, be on this team. You know, go out there, like I just said a minute ago, express myself, you know, be confident, you know, try and create chances for this team, get my teammates involved in the game, and hopefully create some scoring chances, and hopefully we can find the back of the net.
Brad, thanks so much. Good luck. Bob, back to you.
Thank you, Jeremy. We understand that Jurgen Klinsmann, in his last chat with the team before coming out here today, told his team not to be afraid to make mistakes and impose their personality on the game. We approach the kick. Ghana is the task in 15 days. Turkey is the task today. Less than 15 to kick. The atmosphere builds. The clock ticks down. The Outlaws are here. A capacity crowd at Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey. The United States and Turkey the second of 3 send-off matches for the United States as the Turkish squad makes their way into the tunnel. We understand when we do get to the national anthems later in a few minutes. Once again, as the other evening at Candlestick Park, the U.S. fans will be asked to sing an a cappella. There will be no featured performer. Europeans call starting in a match, featuring in a match. Here are the 11 Americans who will feature today, 15 days away from Ghana. What from today, aside from not having a major injury, do you want to see coming out of this that will point towards that first game in Natal?
Well, a couple of individual things, because you can't really take a moment or one game in these warm-up games and then say, well, that's what's going to happen in the World Cup. But what you're looking for is some sort of pattern, some sort of consistency, either good or bad, to highlight. So when I'm looking at things like Matt Beasley, against Azerbaijan, he didn't look as comfortable as he has, and he was giving away some balls that he normally doesn't. Maybe it's some nerves, but does that continue? A guy like Michael Bradley playing at the top of that diamond, he didn't have the impact that normally he does have. And so is it better today, or is it just some of the same? Josie Altidore, who we have talked about, obviously getting the goal, getting in those positions also to hold that ball, relieve that pressure, because that is going to be paramount. The goals are one thing, but holding that ball and providing that outlet valve against the likes of Ghana, Portugal, and Germany is going to be essential. I will even forgive the goals as long as he is holding the ball up and giving the guys a break when they're under pressure.
Well, I think we understand against this draw that we're not necessarily for a large section of these matches going to be dictating the game to this opposition. It's not going to happen. So you want to see that team mentality defending from the front, through the midfield, through the back, and that's a very difficult thing to do when you've moved so many players around, you've had so many different situations. To have a team play collectively in a defensive effort, counterattack off of that defense, it's difficult to do.
Very curious thing on the U.S. preparation schedule when they get to Brazil. They've got this match today. They've got next Saturday against Nigeria. They fly on Sunday. They're going to play a closed-door match against Belgium when they get down to Brazil. Now, Belgium, of course, is a seeded team in their group, Group H. If the U.S. were to finish second in their group and Belgium could easily win their group, that would be a round of 16 opponent. They're going to play each other a full 90 behind without spectators, but I'd say you'd think an 80% throttle.
Yeah, we won't necessarily know exactly what happens in that match. That's why it's closed doors, just to get guys a run, and obviously against a good team. And I think that this team is going to breathe a sigh of relief when it gets on that plane and it goes to Brazil. I think it's been a wonderful week of excitement and passion. I mean, these people are going bonkers here. It's wonderful for these players to understand that this soccer nation that has come above ground is supporting them every step of the way, and understand that there's a responsibility and an expectation that's much higher than it's been in the past.
We've talked about lack of World Cup experience. There are only 5 players on this U.S. 23 who have played in a World Cup before. In the current run of 7 consecutive U.S. appearances in the World Cup, that's the least experience that the U.S. are taking to a World Cup. What's the moment for you when you realize this is the World Cup and I'm in the middle of it?
Well, you stand up for that first national anthem in a World Cup game, and you're kind of like, okay, this is the World Cup. This is what I've been waiting my whole career to have. After about 15, 20 minutes, you look around and you go, this is exactly the way I played the last qualifying game, my last game for my club team. But then later, I think after in that retrospect, you kind of look at it and you go, wow, there was a responsibility there. Maybe we took it, maybe we didn't. But it's a big, big moment in your career, and you're excited to represent your country in a World Cup.
And for some players, it doesn't take 15 minutes. Some players, it takes the entire tournament before you realize that this is the same game I've been playing all along. I think what you do ultimately realize is it's that one moment, either that mistake that you make because you switch off mentally, or that mistake that you capitalize on that can change your fortunes. And these guys going down there, yes, they have played at a high level when it comes to the professional game. They haven't experienced a World Cup. They'll figure out that it's the same game they've been playing all along, and that'll be a good thing.
Well, let's look back at a little bit of history. 2002, when the team had good success. 30 minutes into the game, you're up 3-0 against Portugal. Let's go to 2006. You're playing Czech Republic in the first game. Halftime, there's an opportunity. Claudio Reyna hits the post to make it 1-1. Counterattack. Rosicky scores 2-0 at halftime. We're down. Those little things, that first 45 minutes, can really set the tone of a World Cup.
That is the beauty of the World Cup, the opportunity in a flash to write your name in history forever. The anthems, the Independence March, the Turkish national anthem, and then an a cappella rendition. The crowd will be asked to sing it, along with the players, the Star-Spangled Banner. A week from departure.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and join your fellow supporters in singing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Lady Liberty stands 7 miles away in New York Harbor, and they envision her holding aloft the trophy. It is a dream. It will be played out 15 days from today.